Okay. I think we are live. We are live here. Let's have some conversations. Let me get my bearings. I'm about to pull it up on my computer. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Let me see. Let me throw that up there. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Just put a one if you are hearing what I'm saying. If you're understanding what I'm throwing out there. It says I'm live on my joint. Let's see. Let me test the sound. Okay, looks like I'm live. Looks like I'm probably live. Welcome here. Let me go ahead and play the intro really quickly as people are coming in. Let's see. Let me go ahead and play this. Let's see. Is this the one? Yeah. No, that is the incorrect one. It's this one. It's this one. Hold up. Welcome, and thanks for coming through, everybody. Thanks for coming through to the live stream. Thanks for coming through. And we have a couple of things to talk about today. A couple of things that are very interesting. Some legislation coming down the pipe. We're going to be talking about tech layoffs as well. And we're just going to kind of open it up for any type of discussion people might want to have, or any questions or anything about cybersecurity, what you all are doing. But yeah, man, like let's jump right into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm not going to belabor the points today, but the first thing I want to talk about is the hackback. So there's been some years, probably like 2017. I remember probably the conversation was happening back in like 2018 or so, when they were talking about having this hackback legislation. To kind of just explain it in general terms, so America has like a policy, right? We have like a type of standard where we don't allow any type of hacking back. We don't allow, so say for instance, a bad guy got into your systems, whether it's national or international. They got into your network, they got into your systems, and they put ransomware on it. And you had to pay them the amount to get your files and everything released from whatever encryption they used, right? America doesn't allow you to hack them back. So say, for instance, they're on your systems. A lot of times if somebody's on your systems, you might have some information about their computers, their VPNs or something that might allow a path back into their organization and being able to, at times, immobilize them. So say, for instance, they get into your network, you found the IPs, you find whatever type of VPNs, you could possibly launch a denial of service attack, taking their systems down if they're not they don't have a very solid infrastructure. You know, that's actually illegal in the United States. So we can't do that. But this legislation is saying to do something different. Let me say what's up to a couple of people. I don't know what type of chair this is, man. I don't know what type of chair this is. Something I found on Amazon with some good ratings. I'll probably send it to you. I'll text it to you, man. I'll text it to you because I don't even know what it is. It's just, I have no idea. But I'm going to send that to you. What's up, Death Racer? Welcome to the chat. Doug, as always, welcome to the chat. But let's get into it. Let's get into hacking back, the hackback legislation, because it's almost reared its ugly head. I wouldn't say reared its ugly head, right? Because I don't want to come with an opinion, but it's almost reared its head from before, from the 2017, 2018. And now there was an article that came out with SC Magazine or SC Media, where now it's speaking about this coming back into play. And we're going to hit on a couple of different points. We're not going to read the article line by line, but I want to get into a couple of things here so that we're able to get a good feel of what's being discussed. So this one is the pros and cons of the proposed hackback bill. So like it says, and it mentions here that back in 2017-18, was proposed as a bipartisan bill, and they kind of labeled it as Active Cyber Defense Certainty Act, or ACDC. And it says colloquially known as the Hackback Bill. It pretty much says, acknowledges that U.S. businesses now face more cybersecurity attacks while hackers go unpunished. And that's that piece that I was talking to you about. People can get into your systems, mess up everything, and there are no repercussions for it if they're not caught, right? So now this bill, what it says here, it would let organizations retaliate in certain circumstances, potentially spotting incoming threats or recovering stolen data. So say, for instance, they got into your systems, right? Here, let me go ahead and go side by side with it. Say, for instance, they got into your systems and they stole private data. They might have stole, I don't know, credit card numbers. They might have stole social security numbers. They might have stole, I don't know, those pictures that you posted on Facebook all them years back that you don't want anybody to know. They might have stole all that information. If you're able to hack back, you can get into their systems and steal that information back, delete it from their machine, and maybe even brick their machine. When I say brick their machine, it means like you completely destroy the operating system. Like you could possibly do all those things based upon this particular bill. Let's get back into it because these are all possibilities. These are all possibilities here. I'll zoom in a little bit more for you all, with the ad and everything. Okay, perfect. Like I said, it would let organizations retaliate in certain circumstances, potentially spotting incoming threats or recovering stolen data. And it hopes to add an exception to Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. A lot of those early hackers were hit with this Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. All ages had been hit with this. So this is people that were hacking into systems and everything, right? So they were hit with this computer fraud. So this will be an expansion to the CFAA, allowing companies to use beacons that could help track cyber criminals. In short, it would open the door for corporations and private entities to go on the offensive. Interesting stuff here, right? Let's go down because it does like a compare and contrast, some pros and cons of what this would actually look like. So it starts with the pros, and I thought that this was kind of interesting. It would deliver justice. Like I was mentioning before, many organizations don't believe that they are getting justice from being hacked in many cases. People are considering this bill because many cyber attacks go unpunished because of complexities of international law enforcement and attributing cyber crimes. Many hackers get away with their attacks. The nation really needs to flip this and help find and prosecute the attackers. This isn't only finding and prosecuting them, but this is actually taking action against them. And what's also interesting is that this bill is a little bit behind what it is on the international scale. So many organizations, or actually many nations, really, they don't care if you hack other nations. I mean, as it concerns Russia, they don't care if you hack into United States infrastructure, as long as it doesn't cause them any type of issues as a nation. I know with China, they send people over to different countries as plants in order to get into their systems, place probes and beacons and all types of things into systems. So they don't have any issue with their people hacking into international entities. What else? Who else? North Korea, they regularly train people within their organization or within their nation in order to be equipped to hacking for the nation. So, this is a bit behind a lot of what other nations are doing. They don't care about. They not only hack back, they proactively hack. They're like, yo, we're gonna equip you to hack other people for the nation. It's almost like a nationalism type of thing. Let's get into some more of those pros here. Get into some more of the pros. A deterrent, right? If more attackers got caught, some may reconsider hacking systems at all. Isn't that true? All right. I mean, if you knew that if you broke into a building, that there's some guard dogs there ready to like bite you up or something, or that there were armed guards or something there, or cameras or something monitoring your behavior, I think you would be less inclined to hacking into systems that are well equipped to getting you back. You might walk out there limping. You might walk out of there with a bullet in your back or something. You never know. So I think that's this point of a deterrent is very, very true. You can disrupt attacks. So that's another pro. In many cases, the damage isn't done until data is sold or files are irreversibly encrypted. Hackback offers access to the attacker's infrastructure, allowing organizations to recover encryption keys or disrupt the attack. And that's one thing that's very common too. So say, for instance, with ransomware, in many cases, the encryption keys are there with the attacker. And in many cases, it's on the attacker's machine. So if you were able to hack back into people's systems, you might be able to recover the encryption keys and decrypt your files before you have to pay a ransom to get them back. And that's really the basis of ransomware. Ransomware launches malware into your environment, launches malware into people's systems, encrypts everything, pretty much makes everything garbled up, making you incapable of accessing your sensitive files and data, right? File systems typically is the way that they do it. And then they tell you to pay a ransom in order for you to get the encryption key back. So that's typically how that happens. But with this hack back thing, there is potential for you to recover your own encryption keys by hacking into the systems, hacking into the environments that was able to launch the ransomware into your sensitive data and sensitive file systems. So interesting. We're still on the pros here. We're still on the pros. Real quick before I get into it, I want to acknowledge a couple of people that just came into the chat. Doug said, "Is Hackback dealing with deepfakes?" Not necessarily. Hopefully, I was able to explain it. I'm a little bit behind in the chat, but Hackback is mainly allowing organizations and people to be able to get into attacker systems and disrupt, and it says certain circumstances that isn't completely laid out here, but get back into the systems in order to kind of get some payback, get some justice, get some tribal justice, if you might say. Atonement, welcome to the chat. Welcome, thanks for coming through. You said, why not legalize? Listen, it's still an opinion. Many people still have different opinions about this. They don't, and we'll get into it a little bit, where a lot of times America does things very different than other nations. Doug says, Lou's talking to someone else. JM says, I'm pretty sure the U.S. has similar programs to produce the best offensive hackers. These programs are just classified. I absolutely agree with that. Welcome to the chat, and thank you for contributing that. We know that there have been many cases where America, they're known. America is one of the nations known for their offensive hacking capabilities, right? A lot of times we use it for government purposes only, right? We don't use it really within our enterprise organizations. We don't use it for our tech companies. They might use it, who knows? But it's not publicly known. But to JM's point, absolutely, that is very true. We produce offensive hackers in many times, but typically it's for military defense type of purposes. Sometimes offense type of purposes too, right? You're attacking a country, you take down some things with cyber attacks. So that is also something that's very true. What's good, Akin or Akin? Yeah, welcome. And what's happening, Struggle Family? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what's happening, everybody? Doug says, sounds like a cyber castle doctrine. I've never heard of that. Expound upon that if you want. I don't know what cyber castle is. Okay. Let's get into some pros, and then we're going to get some cons. We're going to look at a couple of the cons too. And that's going to kind of give us a little bit of context. Keep this conversation balanced. Keep it balanced here. Okay. Another thing is that it brought up here, collect cyber threat intelligence. If an organization gains access to the attacker's resources, it can learn the tools, techniques, and procedures, or TTPs, that they use. This valuable intelligence can help all companies prevent potential attacks. So listen to that, right? You get into their systems and you understand what tooling that they're using. In many cases, a lot of hackers are using an offensive tool called Cobalt Strike, which is so for commercial use or personal use, just randomly on the internet. I mean, if you look up Cobalt Strike, let me see if I can find it really quickly. Cobalt Strike. They have a nice little offering. Shoot. I mean, you can just buy. Oh, wait, were they recently acquired? Let's see. It looks like they might have been recently acquired, but let's go into some of the pricing here. Fortra? I never heard of them, but like it says here, Cobalt Strike is an adversary simulation and red team operations. This is a tool that a lot of people use in order, good or bad, use in order to hack into systems and stay quiet. It says what is included in Cobalt Strike, post exploitations. This is after you get into a system, your posts, or after you exploit systems. Attack adversary simulation. Emulate an embedded attacker using asynchronous low and listen. This is quiet. This means that it's able to emulate attacker capabilities quietly. Browser pivoting, bypass two-factor authentication using man. This is This is dangerous. I've used this in certain cases for red teaming engagements, and it's very nice. It's very nice. And this is the pricing here, right? So if you're looking for just a basic license, you talking you coming out of almost $9,500. If you're looking at Pro, $12,600, and if you're looking for Enterprise, I mean, you do the numbers. You could do it, right? So this is something that not only good guys can purchase and buy, right, but bad guys too. Bad guys too. So oh no, I'm sorry, that was just for Core Impact. If you're looking at Cobalt, I mean, not too much of a difference. You're coming out of almost $6,000 here for a single license. But let's get back to that. Let's see. Anybody else say anything else? Do you think ChatGPT will get to what did it say? Do you think JM says, do you think ChatGPT will get to the point where it will be able to create custom malware for you that you can use on a payload? Yeah. Use as a payload. Yeah. I think it could do it now, actually. It's so funny. Let me just do this. Cyber Mentor Chat GPT. He actually just put up a video today where he just made what's up, everybody? Brute force tool, a brute forcing tool for SSA Secure Shell. He created this with Chat GPT. So here, let me throw that link in the chat so we can keep on going with the conversation. But yeah, this is Chat GPT attack tool. I'm gonna throw that in the chat right there for your viewing pleasure, JM. But yeah, I think that people can do it now. People can definitely do that right now. They can use Chat GPT to do a lot of to create cybersecurity tools, whether offensive or even defensive. And I actually have a video coming out next week where I'm talking about Chat GPT, but look out for it. I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to give it away yet. Doug says Castle Doctrine deals with laws for home protection in case of. Okay, yes. I think so. It's very that sounds very aligned with kind of what we're talking about here. Okay, cyber threat intelligence. We talked about that one, and an alternative to more dangerous responses. Cybercrime has gotten so bad, nations are considering more aggressive responses and sanctions. For example, in early October, the White House hosted a global ransomware summit. They sure did for 30 countries, but didn't invite Russia because Russia's the main people who throwing out all this ransomware. Anyways, they actually have ransomware as a business. I don't know if you ever heard of ReEvil, which is pretty much like ransomware as a service. This originates from parts in Russia. Cyber attacks, especially ones like the Colonial Pipeline, I was involved in that incident attack, could someday result in war. The proposed bill could offer a level of justice to help diffuse frustrations before governments take more drastic measures. Okay, those are all the positives, right? What do you all think of the pros? Throw it in the chat if you all think the pros are pro enough. But let's look at some of the cons here. Legal dilemmas. That's one thing I was talking about before, right? We have this legal framework where it makes a lot of this bad in America. It says this whole discussion hinges on a bill that would make some hackback legal in the U.S., but cybercrime is an international issue. In fact, it's the international nature that's currently limiting justice. Furthermore, and this is an opinion article, right? So this is pretty much summed up in saying that it's just illegal right now in America. Cyber attribution takes work. It says, notice that I didn't say impossible, it's feasible, but because the internet and our technology allow for proxy attacks through intermediaries, knowing who's attacking an organization from logs isn't enough. That's the thing there too, right? It's not always very easy to say who the bad guys are. In many cases, when someone is hacking your systems, what they do is that they will utilize things like you mentioned in the article, proxies, right? Proxies and VPNs. So they're kind of shading or kind of hiding their actual presence or who they really are through so many different types of infrastructure. They might be going from a server in India to another server there in the UK that they hacked it to somebody's computer over, I don't know, in California, and now they're accessing your system. So attribution, or who is actually or who you're attributing the bad thing to, it might not be the actual bad guy. Right? It might not actually be the bad guy. Let me say what's up to some people in the chat. Rich J, hello, welcome to the chat. Kuda, what's good? Kuda, thanks for coming through, man. Peace. Instead of street justice, you just go online, text street justice like counter hack. Yeah, man. You know, that was one thing they were talking about, is that this having hackback legislation in the U.S., it might just turn into cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk is the video game where people are using all types of little cyber hacks and everything to get into systems, to turn off things, to pretty much kind of street battle, but from a cyber perspective. So yeah, man, and absolutely, just like you're saying, counter hack attack for sure. But welcome, Kuda. Yeah, man, this is what we're talking about, and they're starting to revisit this legislation right now for the U.S. Let's get into a couple of other things. Vigilantism can become a slippery slope. And let me zoom in a little bit for y'all. Vigilante, while the ACDC Act tries limiting what type of hackback private companies can do, opening this door could allow a flood of other actions. So it might not just be an organization trying to get their data back, but it could be that, you know, that kid kind of right down in his mom's basement, or the whole idea of what a hacker is. That means like, well, shoot, somebody got into my system. I'm going to hack them back, and I'm utilizing this law and this rule in order to be able to get them back. That can be something there, right? So like it says, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. That's hard to say. And this one is skirmishes turn to wars. While hacking back hosted to deter criminals, some attackers may respond aggressively and up their efforts against the organization in new ways. This could potentially escalate to cyber wars between private companies and groups. That can happen, right? It can go from, you know, I'm hacking back, I'm aligning with the new law, the new bill that is coming out, but it could also be people get into some cyber effery, right? People can get into people's computers and systems and say, oh, this person did this thing to me, and I'm coming back at them. So, and that can go international levels, right? So you're talking about hacking over international borders where there's treaties and laws and all types of legislation that's intact, where nations are at peace. But if, you know, people are just like it is with Russia, right? People don't trust Russia from a cyber perspective at all, because they just some cyber thugs, man. They get into your systems, mess everything up, and blame it on India. Like, that's the type of stuff that they do. They'll create deep fakes on your social media accounts, putting out all types of information about candidates or something. That was a big contributor to a lot of the confusion during some of our election cycles, and they've been known to do it in other countries too. They don't care. So cyber thuggery, cyber effery, cyber pookies, man. This is something that Russia is known for. So skirmishes, little tiny things, right, can turn into large wars and large issues happening across nations. And the last one, it says, private companies can attack nation states. Private citizen criminal attackers launch most cyber attacks. However, we've seen nation states participate in private cyber crime before. For instance, North Korea attack on Sony, right? Sony is just a company, right? Enterprise organization, and North Korea is a nation state. So nation state against a Sony, that's not even a fair fight. And some believe they were behind the WannaCry ransomware, and WannaCry was another very popular ransomware that was going around everywhere, all around in the world. What if a company attacks a nation state sponsored attack cyber attack team? That could quickly result in a political nightmare, right? So just buttoning that thing up, right? With private companies versus nation states, the resources and the infrastructure just isn't even comparable. You got pretty much a bear versus Chihuahua, right? You don't like, that's not a fair fight, because nation states, or like North Korea, they have way more resources. They have way more attack infrastructure. They have way more capability. And not Sony is trying to produce movies and some type of digital products out there, right? Whether hardware, CD, people don't make CD or MP3 players anymore, but I don't know, whatever they're making today, whatever Sony is making today, North Korea can create hackers, right? So that's not even fun. That's not even a fair fight. So this is something that legislation can do, and that legislation can do for sure. Kuda says, laugh out loud, the dark web might be off limits for this one. Yeah, 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 man. And you said you probably can pay for a cyber investigator and cyber bounty hacker in the future. You can do that now. You can do that now. Go to Upwork. Look for people who offer their services for to investigate people's digital footprint. That's something that people can do absolutely right now. But this is kind of expanding it to some pookieism on the web, on the internet. It can get crazy. It can get crazy. But let me show you a little bit, right? I did a little bit more research, and one thing that's kind of related to kind of this hack back thing, or this hacking the hackers or hacking the scammers. It's been a dude on YouTube that's been doing it for years, and it's very interesting stuff. And I want to share this with you all. I've been watching his stuff for, man, a good number of years. His name is Jim Browning, and let me go ahead. I'm trying to share this with you all. And what Jim does, and many other YouTubers, there's other YouTube channels that do it too. There'll be hackers or scammers, really, people who are scammers, people who call, say that they're tech support, people that call, say, hey, I'm calling from Microsoft and I need to get into your computer to help you update your license or something. Or we found that there was an issue with your computer and we're here to service it. Give us access. We're going to get in there and we're going to help you out with your issue. And it's just going to charge a small fee of $20 or something. This is very common for a lot of these scammers, these phone scammers. But what happens is that Jim and other people have taken it into their own hands. They're actually hacking back to some degree. Actually, I think this is exactly what it would look like. They're hacking people's systems back, getting into things like individuals' webcams, getting into their computers and deleting files. Let me show you this here, and you tell me what you think. But JM has something he wants to input now. He says, I think as encryption and processors get better in the future, it would be more difficult to hack. You would think so, because encryption technology is pretty advanced right now, right? Even for government standards, I think they're doing SHA-5. What's the new encryption? Let's see, encryption standard for DoD systems. I think that is like it's AES 256. So AES 256 is considered military grade, and that's really, I think it takes like thousands and thousands of years to reverse that encryption standard. You know, it can get so it's very difficult to decrypt something that was encrypted with that particular type of standard. The thing about it is that there are so many things still sending data over clear text, and so many people's systems and passwords and users names getting hacked that many times you don't even need encryption standards in order to hack somebody or to get into somebody's systems or find what their passwords are, because there's these things called like rainbow tables. So it compares hashes of previously hacked systems. Let me just break this down very, very, very quickly. Say, for instance, you have an account with LinkedIn. LinkedIn gets hacked. So now the bad guys has your username and your password. That bad guy encrypts or does a hash on your username and or really just a hash on your password, puts it into a rainbow table, and now this is readily just sent over the wire to all of the bad guys. And now people are adding these new hashes of people's passwords to this thing called a rainbow table. So now, say, for instance, you get hacked in some other way, right, from your Amazon account. All they're doing is comparing the hash values from that rainbow table from your LinkedIn password account to the one that you just recently got hacked on with your Amazon account. So it's not even decrypting anybody's accounts or decrypting anybody's passwords. It's just doing a comparison based upon all the hacks that have happened. And these hacks are increasing every single day. LastPass was just hacked not too long ago. I mean, Uber recently got hacked not too long ago. Many of these organizations where people are putting in their credentials, they're just doing a compare and contrast. So whether it's encryption standards or not, if you got a hack, somebody got the hash of your password, they'll just do a compare and contrast and just know whether they have your account or not. So hopefully that makes sense. DJ Kuda said, dang, this is interesting. Black hat acts, take little hack acts, pick back. Man, I don't even know how to read all that, man. I don't even know how to read that. Kuda said passwords are funny. these days, given how much people are willing to give up the rights and the information. Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I heavily recommend that people use multiple passwords, strong passwords over a wide range of accounts, even though most of us just use the same password for every single account that we have so we can memorize it. But, it's crazy because even people were using, password vaults. But password vaults like LastPass just got hacked. So it's just like, we just got to go from one solution to another solution. We just got to keep on rolling with the punches. Oh man, we ain't talking about keygens. We ain't talking about keygens. That's on some hacker stuff. All right. Let me get into what this hackback might look like in the future. Let's check this out, and I'm gonna zoom in. And everybody's doing shorts these days, which is very interesting. So there are a couple of shorts here. So this one is hacker calls scammer by their real name. So there's a scammer trying to get access to their computer, and he put them on blast. Let's check this out. I'm gonna maximize this for you all's viewing pleasure. Hopefully you might be able to see their reaction. Can I zoom in more here? Yeah, that might work. Okay, let me play it.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, sir. My name is Carolina Fernandez. I am calling you from the Microsoft.
Oh, hi, Priya.
Look at her face. She wasn't ready. She said her name was Carolina. And that she was calling from Microsoft. And look at her face. She looking stupid. Look, she got got. This is her. Right here. This is her. Yeah, she done messed up. Her name is Priya. She said her name is Carolina. And do you know how he's seeing her reaction? They have direct access into their internet connected camera systems. So this guy, Jim Browning, he got access to their camera systems. He was able to learn and find out information about who this woman is. And look at her. Goofy. All right, let's keep it going.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm a ghost.
Idiot.
I'm a ghost. Don't call me an idiot. I'm a
What's
ghost.
your name? Tell me your name.
My name is Ghost.
I don't understand. And what's my name? Tell me my name.
You know your name. You must know your own name.
Tell me my name. You know very well. I know that.
Oh, I know your name. I know everybody's name.
Yes. You tell me. You already tell my name.
I know. You're Priya. I'm a ghost, you see.
She's scared now. Scamming.
Priya.
Get when you scam.
Hello?
Hello.
Let's look at that one more time. And welcome B2B. Welcome B2B. Welcome to the chat. You said never trusted password managers. Yeah, man, I did. I'm a cybersecurity professional. I trusted them. I thought they had a good product going. Hey, we live and we learn. Kuda said she was gasped. She said she got gasped. Let's see it one more time for those who are just coming in. Welcome, Nicer. Welcome. We're looking at scammers, Nicer. So there's some recent legislation that has been coming. Well, I wouldn't even say recent. Over the last several years, there's been some legislation talking about organizations hacking the hackers back. And that's kind of coming into that type of conversation happening again. And I'm saying that this is probably an example of where there's some scammers here that are trying to get into people's systems, trying to steal money from people. And this is the scammers getting scammed or the hackers getting hacked. Absolutely. Text your child, you said you're using Dashlane. That's another one. That's a new one. Okay. I'm going to check it out. Hopefully they sponsor some video. Absolutely. JM said, I don't trust random people calling me, bro. That's very true. And that's another thing. I did a video earlier about how the elderly are extremely vulnerable to these type of attacks. They automatically start off with trust. They trust you. Like anybody call their phone, they typically trust and they'll just give up information. The elderly are probably some of the most sought after victims by hackers and scammers like them. So yeah, check out that video for sure. Game Over, welcome, salute. Welcome. Thank you for coming through, Game Over. We're looking at scammers, and we're looking at this whole concept of hacking back because the government is starting to talk about what that legislation might look like in America. And I'm showing some examples of what some hackbacks might look like. So this is one here. Let's go ahead and play this one more time. And I got a couple of more to show you all too.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, sir. My name is Carolina Fernandez. I am calling you from the Microsoft.
Oh, hi, Priya.
Look at you.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm a ghost. Idiot. I'm a ghost. Don't call me an idiot. I'm a
ghost.
What's
your name? Tell me your name. Tell me your name.
My name is Ghost.
Say Ghost.
I don't understand. And what's my name? Tell me my name.
You know your name. You must know your own name.
Tell me my name. You know very well. I know that.
Oh, I know your name. I know everybody's name.
Yes. You tell me. You already tell my name.
I know. You're Priya. I'm a ghost, you see.
She thought it was fun. She thought it was cool. This is a nice little scam gig. Like we about to be sitting up here in this call center scamming people out of their money. Look at you. Look at her. Look at her. Looking crazy. You gaffs. Let's see some more of that. Because he builds it up too. It's fun. I like seeing this, actually.
I'm here.
Okay. Let's see. Let's zoom in so you all can see more. And this one is by the same dude. He said he hacked the camera system of the scam call center. So it's a whole scam. They got a whole scam call center organization. And that's why I said America is kind of behind on the hacking back thing or just hacking other nations or stealing people's money. You know, that's why this hackback legislation is very interesting. It's a very interesting conversation. Let's take a look at this.
Here, can you please tell me who is beside me right now?
Which side?
In my left-hand side.
I think that's Mimi.
Go home. Priya and Mimi, go home. Okay? Go home. This not for you. Y'all jumping up out the seat. Y'all not even seasoned scammers. This not for you. He done found out all y'all names. He know your whole org chart. He know y'all manager. He know y'all friend. He know who you went out to lunch with. He got the camera. He looking at your expressions. He got you on, listen, he got you in 4K. Okay? He got you on YouTube in 4K. Listen, you're content for him now. This thing got 18,000 views. You don't went from scamming to content. You a whole cyber body. This not for you, Priya. This not for you, Mimi. This ain't for y'all. Here he get them even more. Here, listen, I got more here. Hold on, let me pull up the other link. But she thought it was sweet. They definitely thought it was sweet. Hold on one second. All right, we'll calm down. James said, usually when people are applying for jobs, they tend to answer phone numbers they don't know. That's very true. That's why this attack is it can be very effective if your guard is down, if you're really not paying attention, right? Hernandez is nowhere near her ethnicity. These are definitely folk of Indian descent, right? Right there in Asia, all right? But Hernandez is definitely not her name. Game of crack it up. I bet she thinking time for a lunch break. He probably know where she go to lunch every day too. I mean, it's crazy. And that's one thing I was mentioning before with these internet connected cameras. Like last time we went on Shodan and we could see so many different internet connected cameras that are easily accessible over the internet. So that's probably what he hacked into himself. Nice to say it busted. B2B said they're more excited than anything. They are. They're like, wow, we done got. Now go home. You know, they zodiac sign facts. You know everything about them. He caught a whole cyber body. I'm telling you. Pookie, Ray, and Man hacking. They all hack it. They stepping, they hacking, they doing it all. Okay, let's see some more. I got another one here. Let me pull the last one up, and I'm gonna have to shoot. I thought I had some more time. Having so much fun. Let's see this one. Go ahead and look at this one, and let me share this one. Cyberstepping, absolutely, Kuda. They cyberstepping. That's exactly what they're doing. Hold on one second. Let's go to this. And this is the newest one. Yeah. Okay. Hold up. And this is the same exact story. Let me go ahead and zoom in because he got all their names. He got their names, their addresses. He knows everything about them. Let me zoom in a little more for your viewing pleasures. You can see, and this is 2023, so you can see all their goofy reaction. Listen.
Mary William from the headquarters of Microsoft Security Department. Tell me what happened.
So let me tell you what's happening. She done got. Priya done got. Mimi done got. This is the manager. This is the manager person. So let's check it
out. Mary, are you sure your name is Mary?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, definitely. I know my name. I'm very sure for it.
But it's actually Susmita.
Look at it.
No, mine not.
See that one more time. Let's see that one more time.
From the headquarters of Microsoft Security Department.
Okay, Mary.
Tell me what happened.
Okay, Mary.
Mary, are you sure your name is Mary?
Yeah, definitely. I know my name. I'm very sure for it.
But it's actually Susmita.
No, mine not.
Let's go. Hack the scammers. It's time to hack the scammers now, right? I'm for this bill. After seeing a couple of these shorts, I'm for this hackback bill. Not exactly, of course, but I think it is an interesting concept. I mean, seeing what's happening to these people, these scammers, people thought people was an easy lick, and look what happened. Boom. Susmita. Now you content. And rolled you up. Now you smoking on a Susmita pack. Like what she thinks she was doing. She thought she was about to step in and correct the whole situation, correct the whole thing. Nah, you're a cyber body. Okay. Let's see. I bet scammers were bringing their personal devices to work and connecting to the local network. There's another one too, where he get into people's phones and everything. It's a lot of content out there about that. It's going to break into someone's house and they're in the living room like, I anticipated your rifle. Facts. B2B said, got her. Facts. Got her. The cyber natire. Okay. I have a bad time reading. Pardon me. Cyber hackback pack. Turned to a whole pack. Susmita pack. She out of there. She thought she was gonna mitigate the whole situation. That ain't happen. That did not happen. Absolutely. So I thought that's really interesting. That's really interesting, man. I always anticipate covering more information than what I have time for. And it is time for me to hit this gym. It's time for me to hit this gym. It's been great hanging with you all. The next time we are going to talk about cyber layoffs, what that looks like, right? Because we've been seeing all these tech layoffs happening within the industry. How does this affect cybersecurity jobs? How does this affect cybersecurity roles? And where are the cybersecurity people at after some of these layoffs? Who is actually getting layoffs? Is it the technical people or the product engineers or is it the managers, the CISOs or the CISOs, the CIOs? Who is actually getting laid off in all of these tech layoffs? And is it something for cybersecurity professionals to be concerned about? That's going to be what we're going to be talking about on the next one. So I'm just going to name this one part 1, and then we're going to do part 2. I might even have some more. I'm going to have some more of these scammer hacks because I think these are really interesting to look at. I'm going to have some more of these scammer hacks too, so that we can have this discussion, have a little bit of fun with that too. Let's hit on some of these comments. What does it say? Were these scammers brought to the course? No, I don't. So actually, this is just like kind of vigilanteism. And that was one of the cons that they were talking about. Anybody can do it. So Jim Brown, he has a whole YouTube channel. I think he got like millions of views or millions of subscribers. He's been doing this for years. I think he's based out of like Ireland or somewhere. But no, they weren't brought to any justice or anything. They were just named and shamed pretty much. He said YouTube workers got fired. They might have, yeah. YouTube work, yeah. Google's what I think they laid off like 12,000 people or so. Yeah, they laid off about 12,000 people recently. When they could have been YouTube. You said YouTube people got fired when they could have been YouTubers. They probably still can be YouTubers. I've been seeing a lot of like Google videos. People have been starting up channels saying I got fired from Google or I got fired from Microsoft or something. So we can look at it. I actually had several of those ready. We're going to have a look at some of those the next time. This is great info. I'm definitely catching the replay. Thanks. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you for coming through, Nicer. Definitely appreciate you being here. It's harder to fire a YouTuber. It is, unless you get them 3 community strikes or 3 copyright strikes or whatever type of strikes. As you get them 3 strikes, then you out of there. But then you can easily create another channel. So, yeah, it's a little bit more difficult. I boost my account before the fire. All right. Absolutely. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming through. I can Yimmy. Thank you for coming through. Thank you all for coming through the Struggle Security, where we are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. This time we were talking about scammers and the hackback legislation coming through. Next time we're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to see some more of these kind of funny type of hackback videos, but we're also going to get into what does it look like for tech layoffs for cybersecurity professionals. Thank you for coming through. And also bring your questions next time too. You can anytime just throw questions about the field, questions about tech into the chat, and I will start them and answer them towards the end of the live stream. But thank you all for coming through. And until next time, we're Struggle Security. We are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. All right, thanks.